Thank you for coming in today, John. Would you like to take a moment just to introduce yourself to our audience?
Sure. John Kantilaftas. I'm from Australian Construction Services. I've been in the industry quite some time, working on residential, medium density housing and commercial properties. Excellent.
So John, now obviously it's cheaper to build single storey. Would you have recommended to Peter for him to build a single storey on this particular project?
It depends on the type of development. I think single storey for a detached dwelling is appropriate on this site. It is an awkward shaped site, so for medium density, to get 3 homettes on this site would be difficult to have single storey. So I think for Peter's development, I think it would be appropriate for 2 storey.
Yep. Now, as you said, this is an awkward shaped block. What challenges did it present at the time of design?
Look, there was some challenges with the shape of the block. Obviously, you want 3 detached homettes on this site, so you had 3 individual sized blocks and shaped blocks. So therefore, each house had to be individually designed so that they were different in some ways, but from the appearance side, they look similar or related on the street frontage. The other issue was that we wanted an approval under the housing code. That being the case meant that we had strict guidelines to comply with. And dealing with the compliance of that and the awkward shaped sites was a real challenge, probably one of the biggest challenges I've had in a medium density project for a long time.
Yep, yep. And John, being on the beachfront, how did you design it as to maximise the view?
The view was obviously an issue that is critical for a development like this. And the ground floor is taken up by garaging, apart from the entry. So therefore the main living areas need to be up on the first floor. You've got a minimum width of site for each of those houses. You had balconies, you had living areas, dining areas, kitchens, and we created a step back of glazing, so that there were little nooks that we could get views from everywhere. So we had all the living areas, the kitchen and the little nook area, which was perhaps a reading area, all created views of the sea.
John, would you like to give any tips in working with an architect on a project?
I think the biggest issue is the relationship with the client and the architect and the design brief. The more thorough the design brief, the better the design result, and the closer it is to the client's expectations. So I think from a client's point of view, picking the right architect is important. And I think in the initial stages, a client should sit down with an architect, just have a conversation about his ideas and his philosophy. And if it's aligned with the clients, then I think there could be a good relationship. So I think those 2 things are the real important areas.
Yeah, no, definitely. Obviously relationships are so important in making a project all come together in the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you have any tips on choosing the right architect?
I think just in what I said previously is key to it. I think on the converse side, I think architects need to pick their clients as well. And I think over the years, you do tend to say, look, I think I can work with a client or not work with a client. So basically on those areas of relationship, communication, really good clear communication, a good design brief, and making sure that the architect that you're choosing is able to deliver in the timeframes that you're looking to deliver.
Of course, of course. Well, thank you for coming in today. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Belinda.